Hey, I am only a couple minutes late. I was on a call with a potential new client, and so that, takes precedence. I have been this week. Oh my gosh, this week has been crazy. Is it just me? Please, if you are watching, let me know if your week has been nuts. My week has been nuts. I'm getting ready to record some videos for my program, my online program that I'm doing. And so I have this lip stain, but you know what? I'm liking the lip stain. I stay out of the sun because I have sensitive skin. I have melasma. I have rosacea. All of that, the sun just makes all of that worse. So I am pasty white pale, and I don't like to wear makeup, so I don't have any makeup on, but I've got a little bit of cheek color, like just a little bit of blush, and this lipstick makes all the difference in the world. And then I have mascara on, so it takes me from dead to actually looking alive. So I'll do it, but I'm liking it. I'm liking the lip color. I think this one's a little too red. I like maybe a little more pink. Anywho, that is not what I am here to talk about. So I wanted to tell you, I am taking a course to get certified for hair tissue mineral analysis. And you're like, what the heck is that? So, oh gosh, it is a deep rabbit hole. It is a deep rabbit hole, but I wanted to share the stuff that I'm learning, and I literally just started the course. But I never jump in anything without doing the deep dive, learning all I need to learn, getting certified, making sure that the information that I'm giving you is top-notch information that it's actually going to help you. So, I have this core health panel that is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. I just had to deliver some not bad news, but news about a core health panel to someone that really kind of took them off guard, because they've been getting their fasting glucose and they've been getting their hemoglobin A1C, and they were all normal, but we identify that they are absolutely insulin resistant, and it's just a matter of time before those go up. So I love my core health panel. I love it. It took me a couple of months of tweaking it, getting it right, making sure that it had all the information in there that I was looking for. So I love it as far as a blood test goes. And I do have, a couple of, there's magnesium, potassium, calcium. We have zinc in there, all good, sort of screening tools. But what I'm finding out now from this hair tissue mineral analysis is that, a lot of the minerals that we have in our bodies they're not really in the blood. And the blood, the coolest thing that I learned, and I knew this, but I guess I learned it in a different respect, is that, our blood is homeostatic. So you've heard me talk about how the blood goes everywhere in the body, right? And sugar, glucose, is a toxin to the brain. So our blood is going to maintain that homeostatic level, meaning it's going to maintain that normal range for that optimal range, not normal range, optimal range, for as long as it possibly can, to the detriment of us sometimes. Like, I think Jimmy has to go out. To the detriment of us sometimes, where, we're storing fat and we're storing glucose in our liver, like glycogen. We're like, a lot of things are happening as a way to actually protect. Wow, it's nice outside. It's not 1,000,000 degrees yet. As a way to protect our brain. And that's actually to the detriment of other organs in our body. But that's what I mean by our blood being homeostatic, is that it is going to maintain its range of, what it has in the blood within a very narrow, optimal range. And the other way that happens is like, For example, magnesium. If you have a low magnesium in your blood, I'm just here to tell you that your magnesium level is in your whole entire body is astronomically low, because magnesium lives mostly in our teeth and in our muscles and in our cells. It's actually intracellular. It's even on the inside of our mitochondria. And some things that happen when we're under stress over a long period of time is that we use up our magnesium. And so when you see a deficiency on a blood test, because that's not where magnesium lives, it's transported very temporarily in the blood. So that's telling you that your whole body reserve of magnesium is really low. But it's more than that. Magnesium isn't just out there doing its own thing. It's not a party of one. It has a very, what do I want to say? It's almost like the yin and the yang with calcium. And it's like a supporting actor for potassium. So you can't just look at your magnesium in isolation. Like you have to look at your magnesium, and you have to look at your calcium. You have to look at your magnesium, and you have to look at your potassium. You have to look at your magnesium, and it gives you other clues about maybe heavy metals that could be in your body. It gives you clues about your sodium and your potassium together. That relationship tells you about your stress response, like how stressed are you? So I just think it's fascinating. Like, it's really cool. So this hair tissue mineral analysis, essentially what it does is that, our blood is just, it's like a picture, and our hair tissue mineral analysis is a video of like 30 days telling us what our mineral stores are doing. And it doesn't just tell us what our minerals are doing, because minerals are literally spark plugs. They're switches. They're messengers. They are tiny, but they are absolutely critical. In the program that I'm getting ready to record for, a couple weeks ago, we talked about hormone balance, and everybody is just so ready to just take hormones, right? Well, if your body, your body doesn't have enough of the building blocks for hormones, guess what's going to happen to that stuff that you take? It's not going to do what you think that it's going to do. So, just explaining that concept is actually pretty cool. But anyway, so every hormone, every enzyme, every nerve, every detox pathways depends on your minerals. So when we're looking at this hair tissue mineral analysis, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at your metabolism. We're looking at your hormone balance. We're looking at your detox ability of the body. And I just sent mine off. By the way, if you decide, if like you have questions about this, you're interested in this, message me. I don't have everything all set up yet. I'm still learning, but I am happy to share with you. But I asked David to cut. You have to have like this, your hair has to be, you have to have a piece of hair that's like this long, and it's not just one piece, it's like 100 grams. So it ends up being about that big as your little finger. And I asked David, I said, I need you to cut it from a couple of different places in my head. And I hear the scissors, and it was like, and I was like, oh my gosh. So he cut out from one place, he cut out this much hair. And I was like, oh my gosh, when that grows out, it's going to be sticking straight out of my head. But anyway, I'm sorry, this is all over the place. So I wanted to explain something, that there is, because all of these minerals, and we're talking about, copper, manganese, magnesium, potassium, sodium, cobalt, there's a bunch. And then we're also talking about some heavy metals like aluminum, like, and everything just left my brain. totally just left my brain. Arsenic. There's another one. Anyway, we get exposed to these toxic, to these heavy metals, and that affects our mineral reserves. Like, I didn't know that. Our minerals actually help us to detox those. Didn't know that. This isn't something, I've gone to a lot of school in my lifetime, and this is not something that you learn in nursing school. This is not something you learn in nurse practitioner school. This is not something that you learn in nurse anesthetist school. This is something that I was exposed to when I went and got my functional medicine certification. This was also something that I was exposed to when I got my PhD in holistic nutrition. But now this is really very specific and a very, very much of a deep dive. So there's two things. I just wanted to explain a little bit about minerals. And, if you're looking at your labs, your blood labs, and you're saying, I'm good, that is not the way to be reassured. I'm just telling you. I would rather that you get a hair tissue mineral analysis test and know for sure. There are some signs that we can tell in your blood test, like how things are related, that we can give you a better idea about your mineral status, but just looking at that number, and that is a snapshot in time. It is not that video, and we want the video. We want to know what those minerals are doing. We want to know how it's affecting our metabolism, how we're producing ATP, how we're dealing with stress, how we're, how our adrenal glands are functioning. If they're constantly leaking out cortisol and adrenaline and aldosterone and all of that stuff because of stress, eventually they're gonna wear out, and you need to have that good mineral reserve in order to build that back up, because we produce our hormones from minerals. And if you're someone who's taking hormones and you're like, I'm not getting anywhere with this, it could be that you have a mineral deficiency. And so, anyway, I just love this kind of stuff. So there's two things that can happen. You can have an absolute deficiency, which means that your whole body reserve is low and you're not getting it in your diet. Maybe your gut is messed up and you're not absorbing it. You're not transporting it, into the body. Maybe it's just not in your diet. Like, you have kind of a crappy diet and it's just not in your diet. So that's absolute deficiency. You can also have a relative deficiency. What that tells you is, like I said, magnesium and calcium are kind of like the yin and the yang. Hey, Lisa, are like the yin and the yang. And when one goes up, the other one's going down. When one goes into the cell, one is in the cell, in the mitochondria. The other one is more in the blood. When you supplement one, the other one comes out of where it's stored. And vitamin D affects both of them, sometimes in a positive way, sometimes in a negative way. I mean, it's just really, really amazing. But that relative deficiency is relative to other minerals. Okay, so the other minerals that it's yin and yang to. And I told you that magnesium is also kind of a supporting actor when it comes to potassium. So you need to know, you can't look at one mineral in isolation. You really have to look at. But the cool thing is that it tells you about your hormone status. It tells you how your adrenal glands are doing. It tells you about your metabolism. And that's all, that's all something that, we really need to kind of have a picture, because so many illnesses, so many disease states are a direct result, as a direct result of, that's right, Lisa, that's exactly what I was telling you. So as a direct result of mineral deficiencies, and most of the symptoms that we experience, whether that's brain fog, fatigue, cravings, what are some of the symptoms that we experience, right? A ton. Most of those are explained by a mineral deficiency. And when we get those minerals right, our symptoms get better. So just to reiterate, and the reason that blood values are not always reliable is because blood is just that temporary spot that our minerals are, because they're normally deposited somewhere else. Some are in the muscles, some are in the teeth, some are in the bones, some are in the mitochondria, like I said, some are intracellular, meaning they're inside of the cell, some are extracellular in that fluid that bathes, that the cells bathe in. And the blood's job is to maintain this really tight level of what's in the blood. And what it will do is it will sometimes pull out from where those minerals are stored, or it will push extra minerals into places that it shouldn't be. Calcium is one of those. Calcium can be pulled out of the bones and pulled out of the teeth and pushed into soft tissues. And what I'm talking about are blood vessels. It can be pushed into blood vessels. It can be pushed into like ligaments and that sort of thing, where it's supposed to be flexible, but it actually gets hardened. So you've heard of hardening of the arteries. We talk about that when we talk about people that have high blood pressure and that sort of thing. So that is your blood maintaining homeostasis, right? It's trying to maintain that narrow range, and it's doing all kinds of things. It's pulling and pushing and depositing, calcium and magnesium and potassium and sodium and all of that, maybe in places that it shouldn't be. And what you get from that hair tissue mineral analysis is that you get that video of what's going on and why it's going on, so that you know how to supplement, you know what your true deficiencies are, you know how it's related to each other, you know that if you take this, then it's going to affect this, and you have to look at both of those. So it's just exciting. I thought that, why not talk to people about something that I have that's coming up, and something that I think is really misunderstood. And you're like, I feel like crap. You go to your doctor, they draw your blood and they're like, you're normal. Everything's normal. And, that's why I made the core health panel, because it looks behind under the surface. And that's also why I was like, I have to bring this hair tissue mineral analysis, out there and start offering it, because it really does help people to understand why they're having those symptoms. It helps to explain why you can't lose that weight, why you have that belly fat, why you're wide awake at night, why you have brain fog, why you can't remember your kid's name and you only have one kid. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to remind everybody on this Friday, it's my birthday, by the way. I just want to remind everybody that, we are meant to thrive, and it is my mission to help as many people thrive. Like, I don't want us walking around like zombies, not sleeping at night, not feeling like our body's been invaded by someone. And even if we don't have those diseases, a lot of times we don't feel good. Like, we don't wake up energetic. We don't wake up feeling like we just slept 8 hours, even if we did. We're wonderfully made, and we are made to thrive. So I just want to help, whatever I can share, whatever I can do, however I can help. I always want to just make sure that that you're reminded of that you are meant to thrive. And if you're not thriving, that, anything that I can do to help, I'm here for it. So ask all the questions that you have. I'm going to be, in my house, making about 1,000 videos, because next week I'm going to Vegas, not for a vacation. I'm actually going, to do something that I never thought that I would do, and that if you would have asked me, I probably would have said no way. But I am actually going to write a book about my program and how I help people in functional medicine. So I'm so excited, a little overwhelmed, feel like a little bit of an imposter to say that I'm going to have a book out there. I'm going to be a published author, but it wouldn't be possible without making sure that you have the right people around you in order to be able to do that. So I'm busy. Thank you for everybody who's already wished me a happy birthday and all of that kind of stuff. I will be getting to those thank yous, but just know from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. 56 is, looking fabulous. I don't know where June went. I usually celebrate my birthday all month, but I haven't started celebrating until today. And I got a carrot cake from my personal trainer. So I'm a little suspicious today. I guess she's just trying to make sure that she has job security. So everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon.